The Sao Paulo Motor Show takes place every 2 years. It's the who's who and what's what of the car world. Matthias Bruck from Porsche explains that the fair isn't just important for Latin America, but is gaining worldwide status too. The fair is important for Christian Wolff too, especially since Brazil is a growing market for Mercedes. And Martin Winterkorn from Volkswagen says the automobile industry is developing at a rapid rate, and that's why the fair is becoming a bigger event. The fair is not just about boasting about world premieres. Volkswagen, for instance, is displaying an alternative model of the Gol, a two-door that's manufactured only in Brazil. So far, it's been getting a great reaction. Ulrich Hackenberg puts that down to it being a good entry-level car, as it's a bit cheaper than other models. He says it's also a sportier model and has more character than the standard four-door, designed for families. But VW is showcasing one new invention in Sao Paulo. It's called the Taygun, a new subcompact crossover SUV. With its slick design, broad wheelbase, and crisp proportions, it's been quite a challenge for designers. Peter Wuda from Volkswagen says that Brazil is the market to watch. It's vibrant and youthful, and that's exactly what VW has its sights set on with the Taygun. Visitors to the Mercedes stand are particularly drawn to vehicles designed by the company's own performance brand, Tuner's AMG. One model stands out, the special edition SLS GT3. The original version of this sports car was used as a Formula One safety car. Christian Wolff highlights the 45-year history AMG has behind it. He describes the new model as a sports racing car intended for customer use. He can't quite contain his excitement and describes it as a wonderful toy.
Der Wagen spricht für sich, so wie hier steht, ein wunderbares Spielzeug.
In the country that produced unforgettable Formula One legend Ayrton Senna, the possibility for ordinary people to have the experience of driving a race car is sure to go down well. It's not all smooth cruising for high-end cars entering the Brazilian market, though. The country has recently boosted import tax by 30% in an attempt to protect local industry. Depending on the model in question, car manufacturers are paying tax totaling between 37% and 43%. But Porsche isn't letting that get them down. Matthias Bruck says his company has a very ambitious growth plan for the next few years, which it will reach, if not surpass, in Latin America. For him, the entire region looks like a promising market. Experts predict that the number of cars in Brazil will rise by 5 million each year by 2018. No manufacturer is going to want to miss out on that opportunity. The Motor Show in Sao Paulo is more than a place for auto enthusiasts to admire new models. It's becoming a hub of economic potential, too. Many companies are beginning to manufacture in Brazil to get around paying high taxes. It's something Volkswagen has been doing for 60 years. BMW is getting on the bandwagon, too. It's planning to open a factory here in 2014. The Chevrolet Malibu has been popular in the U.S. for almost half a century and is the longest-running mid-size car in the world. Yet Europe remains an untapped market for the model, which made its debut in 1964. Swiss race car driver and engineer Louis Chevrolet immigrated to the U.S. in 1911 and founded the Chevrolet Company there. Now it looks like the business is going down a new road. Stefan Raschig from Chevrolet points out that the Malibu is entering its 49th year. He says the company is bound to tradition and that experience is key. Chevrolet Malibu boasts two kinds of engines, a 2-liter diesel with an output of 118 kilowatts and a 2.4-liter gasoline engine with 123 kilowatts. Both are available in manual and automatic. We're testing out the diesel engine with automatic transmission. It sprints to 100 kilometers in 9.9 seconds, consuming 6 liters of fuel in the process. This model costs about 33,500 euros in Germany, but prices start at just under 30,000. Our car tester Matas Kurat is fond of the car's interior design. He says that while the components aren't as high quality as in the Mercedes or the BMW, they can't be compared since they're in such a different price category. Good value for money is sure to be Malibu's main selling point. The American company faces stiff competition in Europe. Stefan Raschig says Chevrolet knows the midsize market is dominated by German manufacturers, but he's confident that consumers will be attracted by what the Malibu has to offer.
Mit dem Chevrolet Malibu in dem Segment ein sehr, sehr gutes Angebot an den Start bringen, was Freunde finden wird.
The interior is modern and has a sturdy look. The center console even boasts a little trick. At the press of a button, it swings upwards to reveal a hidden compartment. The front seats are electrically adjustable and offer comfort during long trips. The Malibu blends a sporty design with fluid shapes. It's a look that combines power with elegance. Based on the same platform as the Opel Insignia, the Malibu measures 4 meters 87 in length. Our tester says that for a car of this size, he'd expect a somewhat roomier interior. There is enough space up front. It's not like he's bumping his knees into anything. But he says the large dashboard does limit front legroom a bit. Let's take a look at what it feels like in the back seat. He gets in easily enough, but he's underwhelmed and says he'd have just as much room in smaller cars.
Eigentlich akzeptabel, wobei ich sagen muss, dass ich in wesentlich kleineren Autos auch schon mal mehr Platz hatte.
To the trunk with an impressive 545-liter capacity. Matas is impressed, especially because for really bulky items, you could even fold down the back seats. But what's the bottom line? Matas says he could get a VW Passat or a Ford Mondeo for the same price. But, and here's the clincher, those don't come with an inbuilt GPS, electrically adjustable leather seats, or a sunroof. Those features do make the Malibu a car worth considering.
Auch sonst einiges weniger an Extras. Deswegen ist der Malibu durchaus ein Angebot, über das man nachdenken sollte.
The Malibu is already on the German market. Ford has launched a new version of the Focus, the Focus Electric. It's the company's first ever e-car and is set to arrive on the German market in the middle of next year. With a reported driving range of 160 kilometers on a full charge, it's well suited to city driving. The Focus Electric will be built at Ford's facility in Saarlouis in western Germany. It's already been launched in the US, where it sells for around 30,000 euros. The price in Germany has yet to be announced. Setra is also premiering a newcomer, the Comfort Class 500 bus. The flagship coach already meets upcoming Euro 6 emission standards, thanks in part to design innovations that reduce air resistance by 20%, which gives the new bus a drag coefficient of 0.33. The bus also features a vertical inline 6-cylinder engine with capacity of 10.7 liters and a total output of 315 kilowatts. Along with the new engine, Cetra has also equipped the bus with a new 8-speed automatic transmission. Car tester Sascha Knopp says a typical scene on a German Autobahn, a traffic jam. When you hit one, it's helpful to have a hybrid engine because the recuperation system helps save gas. Today we are testing the new hybrid version of the Audi A8. The combination of a combustion and electric motor is also practical on country roads. If you have to reduce your speed, you just take your foot off the gas and recharge the battery by using the brake energy recuperation system. The A8 Hybrid accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 7.7 seconds. Its maximum speed is 235 kilometers per hour, and here in Germany it costs just under 78,000 euros. Audi's Peter Dlab says that this A8 uses a parallel hybrid concept. It has a 155 kilowatt combustion engine as well as an electric motor with up to 40 kilowatts. The e-motor comes with an advanced 8-speed Tiptronic. It is where we normally find the torque converter. Here, the two work together. Depending on the situation, they can either work together as a team or independently of one another.
Je nach Anforderungsprofil können sie miteinander oder auch getrennt voneinander arbeiten.
Once the A8 Hybrid's motor has reached normal operating temperature, you can set off just using the electric motor. Taking your foot off the gas pedal, you recuperate energy. Peter Dlab explains, if you take your foot off the gas when traveling at a higher speed, you no longer use the combustion engine. The e-motor takes over and creates energy that is then fed back into the battery where it is stored.
Die dort generatorisch läuft, das heißt Energie erzeugt und wieder in die Batterie zurückspeichert.
From the outside, little has changed. The front has remained the same, elegant and sporty. The only difference is the hybrid logo on the side and the rear. The sides look a bit chunkier. The interior is high quality. It looks expensive, and it is. The dashboard features both solid wood and aluminum. The comfort front seats cost 5,670 euros. Our expert says the seating position changes automatically when you turn on the ignition. He always likes to sit a long way back so the steering wheel descends and the actual seat doesn't change much. Let's see if there's enough legroom in the back. It's very cramped and his knees are squashed, which he doesn't like at all.
Das gefällt mir überhaupt nicht.
But does the Audi A8's hybrid system perform well? Sascha says, do you really need a hybrid in the first place? He doesn't think so. If we drive sensibly, we are using 8 liters of gas per 100 kilometers. That's the real advantage of a hybrid. You drive economically. You try to keep the needle on the dashboard in the green area, and you don't accelerate hard. It helps you drive sensibly, and that could help you to save on gas.
Das könnte vielleicht tatsächlich der Vorteil sein, der irgendwann mal zum Spritsparen führt.
Bike tester Christian Simpli feels privileged to be trying out the 2 new Husqvarna models. He'll start with the TR650 Strada, and then going on to the Enduro Variante 650 Terra. Right now, he's looking forward to some bendy mountain roads. Let's see what it can do. Husqvarna is out to win over some new customers with its new TR650 Terra and Strada models. For bikers who like to go fast on normal roads, the Strada is the right choice. The Terra is for off-road use. They are both identical and have the same engines. The 43 kilowatt one-cylinder motor is from BMW 650 GS. The Strada reaches a maximum speed of 175 kilometers per hour. The Terra is 5 kilometers slower. According to Husqvarna, the motorbikes use 4.3 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers.
The main difference between the two bikes are the suspension, different kind of wheels and tires between Terra and Strada, more off-road for the Terra.
There are few differences between the two models' design, but a side view shows that the Terra boasts more suspension travel. The double exhaust system is made of 100% stainless steel. Both motorbikes feature a large logo on the side. The front looks very sporty. The large headlamp in the middle of the windscreen makes for safe driving at night. The indicators are on the side. The overall impression is of a high-quality product that's both sporty and sophisticated. Both models include an immobilizer as standard. The TR650 Terra comes with off-road tires. The suspension strut can be adjusted according to individual needs. Unlike the Strada, the Terra is not kitted out with ABS as standard, but it can be included at an extra charge. Those who don't need the added power of the 43 kilowatt version can opt for the 35 kilowatt one, designed with beginning bikers in mind. After putting the Terra and the Strada through their paces, here's our tester Christian's verdict. Both are an enjoyable ride, but if he's forced to decide between the two, he would definitely pick the off-road version, the Terra.
Wenn ich mich jetzt entscheiden müsste, würde ich auf jeden Fall mal hier die Offroad-Variante, die Terra nehmen. Einsatzbereich ist heute
That's because it's the more versatile choice. It's great if you want to do a bit of off-road riding. The suspension is comfortable, and it's a sturdy motorbike, which makes it suitable for rough terrain. You can really have a bit of fun with it.
Ich denke, kann man sehr viel Spaß haben.
The TR650 Strada retails for about 6,700 euros in Germany, while the Terra costs about 400 euros less. The Melkus RS1000 isn't a car for everyday driving. Its suspension is very hard, and there's little noise damping. Still, this vehicle is something special. It was the only series production sports car ever made in communist East Germany. Volkmar Kruspik owns the last one ever made. He says what makes the car fun to drive is that it's just over 1 meter tall. So you're literally sitting 10 centimeters over the road and have a very interesting perspective. And of course, there's the mid-engine with its rear transmission. He says weather and other conditions permitting, the car drifts nicely. 101 Melkus RSs were built between 1969 and 1984. Many Wartburg parts went into their construction. That's why the Melkus is often called a wolf in sheep's clothing, because it looks faster than it actually is. Depending on the engine, it can reach between 160 and 210 kilometers an hour. Volkmar explains that Heinz Melkus developed the car in 1969. It was East Germany's answer to Western race cars. The RS1000 had a fiberglass body with an aluminum skin. It used lots of standard parts from the Wartburg 353, like this turn signal. The car's chassis was based on that model too. Volkmar says, here there's the steel frame with independent suspension. There are the disc brakes on the front axle. It's all mechanically operated. No brake booster, no power-assisted steering. The car's front brakes, wheel suspension, floor pan, and braking system are all taken from the Wartburg 353. The gull-wing doors give the Melkus an exotic look for a communist-era vehicle. Volkmar points out that the two separate gas tanks above the rocker panel, one on the left and one on the right, which holds 25 liters apiece. The steering, instruments, transmission, and electronics are also borrowed from Wartburg. Volkmar shows us another special thing about the Melkus. The ride height of the seats can be adjusted. After lifting the seat to the desired position, a wooden board is laid under it. Here it's high, now it's low. It's practical and simple. Volkmar notes that the engine, it's located ahead of the rear axle and the transmission behind. This model from 1984 was fitted with a 102 horsepower engine with a curb weight of 680 kilos that made for a sporty drive. But this car's engine isn't the original one. Instead of the standard Wartburg 3-cylinder, this Melkus is powered by a 4-cylinder BMW engine. Plenty of power combined with a light weight makes for great driving performance, but drivers should be careful not to push the Melkus past its limits. Volkmar says the car's acceleration is a real treat, but he warns you need to keep your hands firmly on the steering wheel and always be ready to brake. Because, as he said before, the car has no brake boosters, and the engine is a bit too powerful for the series production Wartburg brakes.
Also Aufmerksamkeit ist eigentlich das Wichtigste bei diesem Fahrzeug.
Regular maintenance is also very important. Volkmar always gives his Melkus a thorough checkup before a long trip. The car has a powerful engine and runs in the high revs, so it's wise to check the oil before setting out. It's a relief if the car's not using too much oil. Then Volkmar knows all's well. To be on the safe side, Volkmar adds a bit of coolant and wipes the radiator cap. Then he checks the oil. And finally, the trunk lid, which can spring open while the car is in motion. Volkmar says that can happen if you don't monitor the tension of the Bowden cables. Then the trunk can fly open. It goes down again, but it's an unpleasant surprise. He ensures the cables are preloaded to avoid this. He also checks the insulation here, which sometimes comes loose, especially in hot weather. But it's in place, so everything's wonderful. Due to its stiff suspension, the Melkus oversteers when taking curves at high speed, so drivers need to be very reactive. Volkmar likes the way the car holds the road. It's wonderful in dry weather, but when it's wet, you need to be careful, as it tends to oversteer. Otherwise, the handling's very good. Personally, he thinks 150 kilometers an hour is fast enough, though you can go 180 or 190. But then he says you feel uplift at the front and would be well advised to take your foot off the gas. He thinks 130 to 150 kilometers an hour is plenty fast for the car that's essentially a Wartburg. There are some 80 Melkus RS1000s around, so grab one while you can. Those in good condition sell for around 60,000 euros in Germany.